How's everybody doing today? If you didn't know what that was the Extreme Rules for 2020 theme song, the horror show they're calling it this year. Welcome back to the Jamez Report. Today you may be noticing something different. You may be noticing that there's something different in the air, in my atmosphere, maybe in this video. That difference is I have a special guest with me. She's sitting right here next to me. I'm not going to tell you exactly who that is just yet. Let me give you a quick feeling of what this is about. This podcast, we're going to cover Extreme Rules, the card before the matches happen, give you a quick rundown, our predictions on who we think is going to win and why, and what do we want to see happen in their matches, if at all. Without further ado, on to my special guest. I know you all are waiting to know who this person is sitting next to me. This is Michelle Works. She's been a wrestling fan for a long time, a lot longer than me. I asked her to be on the show. She said she would do it to help me out, said I needed a ratings boosting, however you want to say it. So she's here with us right now. So Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy you was able to join us. So you've been watching wrestling for a long time.
I'd say about 40, 50 years.
40 or 50 years. So you would say that the industry's changed?
Yes, it's changed quite a bit since I first started watching it.
What's the biggest difference you would say from when you first started watching 40 or 50 years ago to today in 2020?
That they promote the women more now than they did back then.
How so?
Well, back then, the women didn't get as many matches, and the women weren't promoted more as they weren't put in billing in big letters. They'd be down, smaller letters. The men would be up in the bigger highlighted frame.
Used to be a time the women were what were considered the bathroom breaks, right?
Yeah.
The bathroom breaks. Now, who is your favorite woman wrestler?
I'd have to go with the Fabulous Moolah.
Now, she wrestled Mae Young?
Yeah.
Who won? Who was your favorite out of the two?
Out of the two, it'd be a toss-up, but I'd still have to say the Fabulous Moolah they was both tough.
Okay. Fair enough. We covered the women. Now, who would you say is your favorite male wrestler of all time?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster. Let me tell you something, brother. So, why the Hulkster? Was it the 22-inch pythons? Was it because he said his vitamins and prayers? Was it because he had the Hulkamaniac, so you was a Hulkamaniac, sister?
Partly, but he wrestled, got in there, and he come out of some predicaments that you wouldn't think he would, especially when he was going against Andre the Giant.
There's a classic match right there. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan picks him up, slams him in the middle of the ring, leg drops him. Rumor has it, and it might even be facts, that started Hulk Hogan's back problems.
Well, I don't know if it started his back problems, but it was definitely a great promoter as far as to promoting Hogan, in his career, because Andre at that time was a pretty big deal. I mean, he was a big man anyway. But so that helped promote Hogan's career because he beat the Giant.
Beat the Giant. Andre didn't lose unless he wanted to lose.
That's right.
So, all that being said, it's a little history on Michelle, so I just don't pull strangers onto the street. Tonight we got Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. We got an eye for an eye match with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. We have the Raw Women's Championship being put on the line. Your champion Asuka is going against Sasha Banks, which is going to be a barn burner to say the least, because I believe Sasha and Asuka put together. Sasha has really improved over the year, I would say, for whatever reason. It looks like she's having fun now. Next, you got SmackDown's Championship, Bayley versus Nikki Cross, which will probably be a unfamiliar type of match, or a unbalanced match to say the least. Then you got my personal favorite match of the night, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in the Swamp match. One can only hope that Braun Strowman can overcome, or you may be hoping that Bray Wyatt, the original version of Bray Wyatt, ends up conquering the beast that he proclaims that he has created.
Yep.
And then you got, should I say, my second favorite match of the night, I'm coming, Mr. MVP, This man is a legend. I don't care what you say. I don't even care what you say about MVP. The man is a champion. He took the title off of Apollo Crews. Yes, he didn't beat Apollo Crews for it, but that belt looks good on MVP to say the least. Do not at me. Do not come back me. I am telling you the truth. MVP is walking out of that match as your United States champion. The best United States champion has ever walked this earth.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
Because MVP is
He's the best.
In all, I wouldn't say that, but in all rights, he is a good wrestler. But Apollo Crews, I believe, is a better wrestler. Now, if we keep everybody out of it, it'll be a fair match.
You're saying everyone as in the shirt I'm wearing right here, Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
Well, I don't think MVP needs Bobby Lashley, but we'll see who walks out champion. And when MVP holds that title, I will make sure, in tomorrow's podcast, by the way, that I will, for sure, be bragging. Also, before we go any further, to everyone that's watching this video, if you like this content, if you got your own opinion on what you think's going to win, who's going to win between MVP and Apollo Crews, put it in a comment below. Hit that like button. It helps me out. And if you want to get more video content from Mr. Jamez and the Jamez Report, by all means, hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a video when it comes out. You're the first one to know. That all being said, a match that I didn't see coming, but I'm actually happy we are getting, is the tables match between Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in the New Day. Now, Michelle, if I'm pulling a gun to your head right now, it's just a reference, everybody at home. Who would you say is going to win this match?
I say the New Day. They've been in these kind of matches before. They've got the big guns in
Big E.
Big E, yeah. I'm old, you know. In Big E, if he can stay in there, Kofi, you know, he's good at athletic-wise. But then on the other hand, you got Shinsuke, who's got a lot of the martial arts skills and that. So it's just going to be one to watch.
I'm with the bandwagon here. I think the New Day is going to get this win, and I'm going to make a prediction. Xavier Woods has been missing from WWE TV for quite some time now. With that being said, they've been kind of mentioning him a little bit more and more. So if I am a guessing and a betting man, which I am, I would say Xavier Woods shows up tonight and is able to help the New Day get this victory over Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, that being said, I would not be upset with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura getting this tag team championship because I believe Cesaro and Shinsuke, but more so Cesaro, for my opinion, is the most underrated wrestler in WWE right now, or one of the most underrated and underused talents that WWE has to offer. That all being said, we've already covered the MVP versus Apollo Crews. Let's move on to Bayley versus Nikki Cross.
Well, here you go. Now you got the crazy woman in there, which I believe if she slows down, you know, and doesn't go in there out of pure anger and rage, I believe she's going to come out of there with the title. I really do.
It's kind of like that perfect underdog story. Nikki Cross is this big underdog. She's not got a chance to face Bayley, at least not for a long time. And it's the biggest match of her career. We've seen it starting to get to her on SmackDown Live the other night. Now, in my last video, I told you the scenario of what I could see happening, which we'll get into that if Sasha would go on to win the Raw Women's title, where you could have Bayley holding on, if she holds on against Nikki Cross, that she would. They call themselves the role model, so it would really push that persona about them being role models in the whole WWE, not just in the SmackDown locker room. I see Bayley holding on to the title against Nikki Cross. I think Nikki Cross she still has that young, too hyper, like you said, she needs to slow down and not let Bayley get inside her head and not get inside her own head like she was on SmackDown Live.
Right.
Most likely, Alexa Bliss will be by her side at ringside, or we might see a scenario, just hear me out on this, well, Nikki tells Alexa, no, I want to do this on my own. So that's a very good possibility. I see your side of things, but I think at the end of the match, it's going to be Bayley walking out, still your SmackDown champion.
Well, and then you bring up a point there. You're going to have, oh,
She's having a brain for it, ladies and gentlemen. She's having a brain for it. I hit her with too much knowledge.
well, no, I've just got so much knowledge up here, I just can't get it all.
You mean you talking about Sasha Banks?
Yes, I'm talking about Sasha. She wants that title too. So at the end of the day, and we've, excuse me, and we've seen it happen before, where Bayley and Sasha have turned on each other. You know, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But I think that after this is over, I think Sasha's coming after the belt if Bayley retains it, or even if Alexa Cross wins it. But she's coming after the belt.
And when she said Alexa Cross, she means Nikki Cross, of course.
Yeah.
Which that could be a possibility. That was my main storyline. I think it would be a better storyline to have Sasha lose against Asuka, which we'll just go ahead and cover that match while we're on it. I think Asuka walks away as champion for two reasons. One, the storyline between Sasha Banks and Bayley is just too much money, especially with SummerSlam right around the corner. Not to take anything away from Sasha, I believe Sasha's going to get a title reign, but it'll be with the SmackDown title when she faces Bayley in the future at some point in time. Right. Asuka, on the other hand, she needs a big win in a clean way. The last one she had was Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Nia Jax played a big part in that. They didn't make Asuka look as strong as I really feel they need to make Asuka look. Asuka is one heck of a competitor. Not just as a competitor from a storyline standpoint, she's one heck of a competitor due to the fact of her training in Japan and all her training that she has. She's just a plain out tough individual, to say the least. Next, we'll cover the Drew McIntyre versus the Dolph Ziggler match. Now, we are yet to know what the stipulation is going to be for this match.
Right.
What's the stipulation that you think that Dolph Ziggler should pick to benefit this match?
I think it should be no stipulations.
A no holds barred match.
No holds barred match.
Now that's a very good possibility.
Yeah.
I think it would add a lot of flavor to the match, but let me ask you this, and let me ask you guys this at home. What if the stipulation was that you take away Drew McIntyre's Claymore kick?
Well, if you take that away from Drew, you know, because that's pretty much what he uses to take out his opponents with. That's a very big move in his, persona. So, but I can't really see them doing that because they're moving him up. You know, they're moving Drew up.
But do you think that if you take away his finishing move, Dolph knows that's what he's been getting beat by, and he's seeing been the biggest thing against Brock Lesnar was the Claymore. The biggest thing against Bobby Lashley was the Claymore. The biggest thing against Seth Rollins was the Claymore. You take away his biggest arsenal, and then he still beats you? That would move Drew up even higher, at least I would think.
Yes, it would, and we have to remember here that they used to be partners, so they're going to know each other's moves or whatever their thing is. So if you took that away and he still beat him, which I do believe he will, that'll really give him a big push up.
Drew McIntyre, and I said this in my last video, and by the way, before I get into this, once again, if you like this content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it out to your friends, leave comments down below. What do you think is going to happen tonight? What do you think the stipulation should be between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler? Let me hear your thoughts. I promise we'll have a conversation throughout the night. Why the matches are going on. You can tell me I was wrong, or I can tell you, hey, called it, got it right. So that being said, but here, yeah, but I that's what I think. That's what I would like the stipulation to be, is take away Drew McIntyre's arsenal, because right now I think Drew McIntyre could be one of the best, if not the best, wrestler in the industry right now. From his promo skills, and I talked about his promo skills in my last video, to his in-ring ability. The man, as big as he is, he's an athlete, yes, and he does not put on a bad match. You could put him in there against me. You could put him in there against you. No offense. And I think that he would look, and he would put on a 5-star match, if not a 4.5-star match. The man is just that good. He's like the bigger version of AJ Styles.
Or a bigger version of Roman Reigns.
Or, well, we could cover Roman Reigns on a different day. No offense to Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns fans. Now, here's the thing. Now we're getting to the cinematic matches. I don't know what's going to happen in this eye-to-eye match with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. What I do think, and what I do know, or not know, but what I do think needs to happen is, and you may disagree, and a lot of people may disagree, I personally feel that Seth Rollins needs this victory more than Rey Mysterio for his persona. He comes out saying he's the Monday Night Messiah. What big matches has he won at a pay-per-view since he's put on that persona?
None.
He's not been able to overcome Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. He was unable to beat Drew McIntyre back at Money in the Bank. And now he has Rey Mysterio right where he wants him. To me, to signify and to dignify and to solidify is the word I was really looking for. His character on TV as this big bad, as the next big bag. He needs to take Rey Mysterio's eye out. On the flip side, I could see Rey Mysterio taking revenge and Seth Rollins walking around with an eye patch. The possibilities of this storyline is up in the air. It's endless amount of possibilities that could happen depending on what the creative wants to do. But for me, I want to see Seth Rollins take Rey Mysterio's eye out because I don't know if you knew this or not, but Rey Mysterio, he's not working under contract right now.
Yes, I know. He's a free agent.
So he is a free agent. So you take away his eye, gets him off TV for a while until you figure out what you're going to do with him. If he figures out he wants to re-sign. You got Dominic there, and they're really wanting to push Dominic, so why not let Dominic take the spotlight here? Could we see a Dominic turn on his dad and help Seth Rollins win?
Oh, that's a possibility. I don't see it, but as far as taking Ray's eye in that, you got a man here, and me speaking as a parent myself. So you're going in this match for the honor of your son, really, and for the honor of yourself. I think that Seth, in my opinion, has gone a little too far in some of his antics, or whatever you want to call them. Here lately, he can't do anything else. He's got backup behind him. But I agree with you. He really needs to win this match against Ray if he's going to move on and move up. He's kind of been put back into the shadows there for a while. He was one of the top dogs running the show, and he's kind of been pushed back a little bit.
And I wholeheartedly agree. So Seth Rollins, good luck in your match tonight. Ray, good luck in your match tonight. I'm interested to see how this cinematic movie type of atmosphere turns out. Speaking of cinematic movies, the Bray Wyatt versus the Braun Strowman match is going to be a cinematic match. And I believe it's going to be the match that steers the show. Bray Wyatt is one of the greatest, if not the greatest mind in the WWE as an active performer. And I said active performer. Right now, the WWE has the offer.
That's true.
The character he come out with, The Fiend, what he's done for Braun behind the scenes, and now they're going to combine. You bring back the original Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. See, it's addicting. I'm about to pull out the flashlights and wave it in the middle of the daylight. This is my match. This is my pick for match of the night. This is my pick for what's going to steal the show at the horse show of Extreme Rules. Braun Strowman is going to walk in now as champion. And he's going to walk out of there as champion.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'm calling it right now. That promo he gave Friday Night SmackDown, I talked about it in my last video. By the way, I'm talking about my last videos, guys. Go check them out. See what I had to say in the past couple weeks leading up to Extreme Rules. I even got videos of AEW on there. I'm not just a one-dimensional man. I don't focus on just one wrestling organization. So by all means, go check it out. Go check out my older videos. And if, like I said in the past, in these past couple of times, if you guys are enjoying this content, hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a Jamez Report. Because I come live every week, 3 to 4 times a week. And I'm going to come out with a video tomorrow talking about the recap of Extreme Rules. So you don't want to miss it. So Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt, match of the night. Braun wins this title. Well, defends his title, I should say. And I think Extreme Rules is actually a stacked. We have a little music interruption on that. You guys can get a good chuckle out of that for sure. So, here's the thing. This match is stacked. These matches are stacked. This is a very good pay-per-view. This is a filler pay-per-view, though, before you get to SummerSlam. I don't see this a big title change coming. The only titles I see changing, I said it in my last video, is possibly and most likely the tag titles.
Yeah.
For you, Michelle, before we cut this thing short, what is going to be your match of the night?
I have to agree with you. The match between Braun and Bray is going to be a very good match. It's going to be a very intense match. Bray tends to pull your little mind games, you know. Well, Braun's playing them back. But we have to remember that Bray brought Strowman into the family.
Exactly.
And so it's going to be an interesting match as to whose mind's going to overcome whose mind, and
don't be surprised. This is just going to be a surprise thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see Eric Rowan return for this match.
That's true. That's true.
I could really see it. We know that Luke Harper, for obvious reasons, will not be a part of WWE. But that all being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us. Michelle, I want to thank you for coming on board, and I hope to have you on in future episodes from time to time, if you would like to return. Happy to hear that. We had a little commercial interference there towards the end. If you can't have fun making videos and informing people, then what can you have fun doing? But let's have a good night. Leave a comment down below of what you think is going to happen. Am I wrong? Is Michelle wrong? If you have questions for Michelle, she has YouTube as well. Go ahead and leave that question down there. I'm sure she'll get to you. And you guys enjoy Extreme Rules tonight.